High school. What comes to mind when I say the words high school? High school is defined as a preliminary period of time after middle school which prepares students for life. Will you be successful in life? That's all determined in high school. Those 4 years determine the rest of your life. And as I go into the second marking period of my third year of high school, I take the time to reflect on how my school has prepared me for my life. And I can confidently say, I am ready to turn the tassel. This is because of my school, Delaware New Tech Academy. New Tech is a revolutionary learning model that teaches students 21st century skills through project-based learning. Whoa. This is how it works. We get a project on a specific subject. They may last from 1 week to about 3 months. We get into groups chosen at random. This is because New Tech is modeled after a business. You don't get to choose who you can work with at your job, so why should you at New Tech? That's how we operate. You must learn how to resolve your disputes if you don't like your group members. You have to get through it and get the job done. That's how it works. And trust me, it gets hard sometimes, but we work through it. A group member is voted as something called the facilitator, and the facilitator is pretty much the boss of the group. They make all the decisions. They're responsible for the welfare of the group. If you have a group member who's at another table, slacking off, not being productive, you're the one who has to go over there and tell them, hey, get on task. This teaches leadership skills. And as facilitator, you learn how to delegate tasks, set goals, and follow through with rules on your group contract. Every group member is held accountable for their actions, though, and their work. And just like a job, if a group member fails to do their part, the group can fire them from the group, and that person must restart the project from scratch all by themselves. This does not have to happen 10 times before the student gets the point. Show up to school, abide by the contract, and stay productive. Because just like a job, when the deadline hits, it hits harder than a right hook from Mike Tyson. So we have no choice but to learn how to manage our time. At the end of the project, each group must present their work to the class or judges from the community. Both are very nerve-wracking. But it is necessary to know how to publicly speak, whether it's talking in front of the admissions officer for your college meeting or getting interviewed for a job. You need to know how to talk in front of people. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kiera Koch. I'm a sophomore at our Delaware New Tech program. There's a lot of things that I could say about New Tech, but what I really wanted to focus on today was talking about group work. Nobody that goes into the business world likes everybody that they work with. If you think that your boss likes every employee and every coworker that you have, you are sadly mistaken, because they don't. And if they tell you that they do, they're lying. When you're in New Tech, it is really, really important for you to learn how to collaborate with people. You do not have a choice with who it is that you work with. You get your group, and that's just it. Your project still has to get done. Everybody needs to make sure that your attitudes are combining and agreeing with each other. It doesn't mean that who you work with, you have to be best friends with, and you guys have to go out to dinner after the project is done. But while you're at school and while you're in the business world and you're getting your project done, you have to make sure that you set all of that aside. Mr. Edward Lanos said, politeness is the poison of collaboration. It's fine to be nice to people, but in your group, everybody has a facilitator, everybody has a boss, and you're not going to be the leader all the time. You won't be a follower all the time, but there's always going to be somebody in your group that you have to listen to. And they're not always going to be nice to you. Sometimes they're going to be like, hey, you need to get this done, and you just have to get it done. That's just the way things work. It's really important for us to know that alone we can only do so little, but if everybody comes together, you can do a lot more things. You win awards and stuff when you get your projects done, if you do the best, and when you put people in positions to do work, just like you do at your job, on an application they ask you, what experiences do you have? What do you work best in? And when you do your groups in New Tech, that's what you do. You pick the job that helps you the best part of your ability that you can do. If you can public speak, be your speaker. If you can do research, then find research. If you can do math, be the mathematician. And if you just like telling people what to do, then be the facilitator. That's perfectly fine. It's important for everybody to know what role that they play, because you can't do it, you can't have one without the other, and you can't do it by yourself. It's important for everybody to know that if we all work together, success will take care of itself. Thank you. Over the years, it has been difficult for employers to find the ideal employee due to the constant change of required skills. Hello, my name is Jennifer, and I am a senior at Delaware Tech Academy. As I first entered the program, I was lacking in skills, for example, communication skills, work ethic, and working with other people. That's my weakest point. But as I entered New Tech, I was working in groups constantly. I was working with different personalities, and I learned how to work with people who might like to lack off a little bit and people who did the work all the time. New Tech taught me how to express my ideas and how to be a leader and not a follower. As over time, I learned more and more how to manage my time, because in New Tech, you work with projects and they are related to real life. For example, we might work with a company to make a commercial for them, and we have to meet deadlines because that company is going to want that commercial by a certain date. So that's how I learned how to manage my time and meet different deadlines. Now that I've been 3 years in New Tech, I started this my sophomore year, and I can now say I'm ready because I have the skills. I have the 21st century skills now. I'm ready for whatever the employer is looking for. I'm ready for after graduation. I'm a senior, and I am a little bit nervous about what's going to happen with me. But now that New Tech has prepared me for all this, I've learned different skills. I wouldn't be talking to you right now. Like, I was the most shy girl in the class. I was the one in the corner, like, I will never raise my hand. I will never speak to you. The teacher will speak to me. I will never speak back. And I will not be able to be talking to you right now. I'm able to say our New Tech model is trust, respect, and responsibility. And I'm able to say I'm a trustworthy person. I'm responsible. And I also know how to manage my time, which is really important for the workplace. That's it. Thank you.
So again, Kevin, Travis, Richard, Kiara, Jenny, thank you. So let's put everybody else to work now. What do you think? All right. You got 7 minutes. What I'd probably like you to do, think about one question for one of the panelists from your table. Make sense? One question. I've got a bunch of folks up here, so ask one question of one person. So have at it. Take about 5 or 7 minutes at your table to come up with that question. Thank you. Question time. Let's start at this end. All right. Very good. You are so active in waving your hand. Right. You ready? Denise, there you go. Good.
This question is for the panel of students from New Tech. What do you see as the best incentive an employer could give you to motivate you?
Well, let's collaborate about it first. Well,
Did you get the question you want to ask?
Oh yeah, we're talking about it.
You
So
are.
we're collaborating.
This is about the goodies, you know what I mean? This is not consensus, you know?
Well, we get a leadership on. Yeah, I got it. Well, when we get into groups and you pick a facilitator at the end of the project, if it's a really big project, that facilitator might get something called the leadership bonus, which is a couple extra points for being the leader and taking on that extra responsibility. So possibly a good incentive would be a raise for employers, you know. Maybe every 6 months you get a $10 raise or something.
Richard, you wish. Is that what they do right now?
Yeah,
Richard.
yeah, every 6 months you get a raise.
Richard.
I have a question for the students. When you finish college, do you think you will seek employment in Sussex County?
Like I said before, I'm a senior. When I graduate college, which I hope I will, I know I will, I am looking forward to be a successful person. And I know that New Tech has prepared me for, the workplace, and I know what the skills that I have right now. And let me tell you, not every graduate from high school has those skills. And not every college graduate has those skills either, but I have them, and I know I will be successful because I have those skills. In Sussex County.
Any other students?
Yes.
Did I answer your question? No.
He wants to know
No,
if you're
Bob,
getting a job.
this conference started 20 years ago with business and education. How do we keep our kids in Sussex County? Do we have the right systems? Do we have the right jobs? Do we have the right education system? So Bob's question is, hey, you gonna stay?
Did I plan on staying here? Originally, I wasn't planning to stay here, but now that I see what's out there, after all these presentations that I've seen today, maybe I plan on staying.
Well, well, personally, after I graduate college, I do plan to stay in Sussex County because I live in Seaford, and we've seen a lot of growth in the past years. Like, we now have a Papa John's, a Lowe's, and everything. And I want to grow with Seaford, I want to open my own business and be an addition to Seaford and grow with it.
Very good, all right. Anybody in the center section here?
Everybody has.
All right, I've got a couple back there. Let me wind this way. Let's see, Gary, you got one? We'll go here. Got you all the way in the back. And I'll come back.
I think a lot of us are unfamiliar with Sussex or Delaware New Tech Academy. And Senator Venables, being from Seaford, says it's part of Seaford High School.
Yes.
Can you explain the difference between the New Tech Academy and a regular student at Seaford High School?
No, I'm going to do it. Okay, so it's not as much this year because we kind of have some school rules going on right now, but I know last year when I was a freshman in New Tech, it's like you're still a part of Seaford High School, but like you have such like a bigger advantage than most of the other kids. Like when you walk past the traditional side and you go to classrooms there, like kids are sitting there and they have books in their hand and all that kind of stuff, and it's real quiet and calm. It's not like that when you go down the New Tech hallway. Everybody's talking and all that, and that's because you're constantly like working in groups. I know traditional kids that are always like, I wish I was in New Tech, because you're not sitting there with a teacher in front of you telling you what to do all class period long. And a lot of kids don't learn that way, and they be going to sleep in class and all that other good stuff. But you are constantly doing something all the time. And when we have guests come or your parents come and all that, they hold you to a higher standard of doing things when you're in New Tech. Not saying that you're better than the traditional kids, but you're a teeny tiny bit better than the traditional kids, but you don't tell them that. But it's just the way that you're learning that's different. Like everybody, when people come to school, everybody knows that you're different from the rest of the school. Everybody.
So, Richard.
To answer your question, sir, it's kind of like a school within a school. Say, for example, you're to transfer to the Seaford School District. It just gives you another option of how you'd like to learn the content. We still learn the same content as everyone else in Delaware. We have to abide by the same standards. We just learn it in a different way. You understand? Say, for example, you know how we have auditory learners, visual learners, kinesthetic learners. Say, for example, you fall under some of those categories, you'd be good for New Tech because we learn in those ways.
All right. Do I have any questions for Kevin? Come on. You were charged to do this now here. All right. Question for Kevin right here.
Not a question, but a comment. We're so proud of you. Thank you.